Finance Administration and Chief Financial Officer Jamie Moffett is going to introduce this session, but it will involve 4 of the many folks who work with Jamie, who are going to roughly occupy quadrants of the room. And these furnishings aren't the most flexible in terms of moving them around, but be prepared, roughly dividing yourselves into quadrants. Plan to move a little bit. Probably just moving to new chairs would be better than trying to move tables around too much. But form up quadrants. You're going to meet in a smaller group with people. It's a little bit like speed dating, because then after 8 minutes you're going to move to the next squad. Actually, they will move to meet with you into different quadrants. So Jamie, please take over.
Thanks, Ken. So as Ken said, I'm the Vice President for Finance and Administration and the Chief Financial Officer, and I'm certain at this point I'm like the 100th person welcoming you to campus and telling you that we're really, really pleased that you're here. I wanted to say that, even though I'm guessing you've heard that a couple times throughout the past couple of days. Finance and administration is a pretty big area, so we have about 20 departments that provide services to campus. It's everything from HR to business affairs, travel, purchasing, campus operations. And so, as Ken said, we're going to try something a little different. In the past, when I've welcomed people, I've tried to describe the portfolio and everything that we do. And I'm thinking that we're going to try something new. And as Ken said, it is kind of a version of speed dating. I have 4 colleagues with me here today. And what we'd like to do in a moment, I'm going to introduce them first, is to have you break up into 4 groups. And what we're going to do is have smaller sessions where we'll present a little bit of information, but then the hope is you have an opportunity to ask questions. So what might be on your minds relative to these different areas. And if nothing else, hopefully you'll be a little bit closer to the person who's speaking, and so you'll have a better shot at remembering a name and a face, if nothing else. So let me introduce my colleagues who are here today. First of all, I have Herb Horner, who is a lieutenant with our campus police department. He's here to speak with folks. I also have Andre Leduc, who is in this corner, who is the Executive Director of Enterprise Risk Services. So that's the group that does emergency management on campus, as well as environmental health and safety and risk issues. I have Chris Ramey, who is in this corner, who is our campus architect, as well as our Associate Vice President for Campus Planning and Design and Construction. And Chris can talk a little bit about campus and some of the new initiatives that are going on. And then finally, I have Penny Doherty in the back, who's our Title IX officer and also our Director of Affirmative Action and Equal Opportunity. And so what we're going to do, as Ken said, is in a minute I'm going to ask you to kind of roughly split up into 4 groups. Just grab a chair in those respective areas. We're not going to have too much time. We're probably going to have 7 or 8 minutes. Each of my colleagues have prepared a couple minutes of remarks to share with you, and then the idea is hopefully to, again, make this as interactive as possible. To make it smooth in terms of logistics, you guys get to stay put in your corner, and when I ding the little glass, which I'm going to copy Ken, I would ask that the presenters rotate so that we can have fewer people rotating around as we move between sessions. So again, please do ask questions that might be on your mind. I'm hoping these are folks who can help familiarize you with different parts of campus. So if everybody could grab a spot, again, we're trying to create 4 distinct groups if possible, and we'll get rolling. Thank you.
Design construction. So our office manages the processes that result in change, growing from the physical aspect. Everything from the initial idea of what kind of space we need to do the final, put that last little bit here. So we're getting in coverage. We also have space contemporary. All of the space for campers are inventory. Back to that. Assignments and use over time. And make these interactive. Hopefully I'm not going to tell you what that is, but just paying attention to something, for example, like the campus is $295. Looking at this year, I'm going to walk you through the current construction project. Because obviously your new campus, you're going to see fences up on the campus, and that campus is going to be today. You're going to wonder, well, what's happening there? And I'm taking advantage of that. So the number one draw call is the difference of the male and residents of the converted sort of badly in the 1970s for psychology and religion for sleeping, and they all have things now. That's moving on January 1st. Fully renovated, this fire space so they can use their resources. So, number two, behind that, we took out the old dining halls and we put back 1,000 classroom seats. Not all the same, but projecting 700. One of them is a 5-seat lecture hall, which has a balcony. Very different kind of space for a small performance space. But how we're going to do lecture or things like that. Performance will be a part of that game. That's basically ready at the end of winter. So for spring term, we'll have those next classes on there. Number three is the student recreation center. And the student recreation center is the largest building on campus. And we will be open in January. We'll be open now. This is a fall that we put in January. We will open a new expanded configuration, including 12-25-year pool, basketball facilities, and exercise facilities. Faculty and staff are eligible to join your membership. And I'm a member there. You get a locker there. And it's great because our college is so much better with the private classes there. Don't mind students and practicing. There aren't any separate, no separate group catering. It is a pretty superior facility. The best thing is number four, that's the biggest transformation currently, is student naive to think that we don't. We're really glad to find that. You'll see that the one thing I told you is so there are things that we have in Kansas that I could not explain to you. So earlier this week, I was telling you well, as we transition, because we have more people on the evaluating resumes. You're working late at night and you want to have a script to your car, call our dispatch office. So we have and it's a mixture of police and it's everybody, right? I mean, it really is. So the way the universities are so free to back up this stuff, that means the electronic surveillance on the property. And so our officers are active, and when they see it, they will remind someone. But the way it works is if it's a faculty or staff, they would then be referred to their supervisor. It's not like they're going to get tickets. There is a fine that's but it's not for school faculty or staff. It's for outsiders. So students will be referred to supervisor, and faculty staff will be referred to their supervisor. I know it's really quite disgusting, but yeah, that it's so bad on that little on Aggie Street right in the middle of it. You know, they have to be off campus. No, we ask that people do. And if you get anybody that gives you a hard time about it, then we would like to know, because then for sure we will make it an employee issue. Should I mention something? Should I Bible guy. His name is John. Rides a bicycle and even makes a wild noise when he rides. Very loud. It's creepy. So you ask your student that is had a brain injury, but it's not okay. You can't help but notice it. of the handouts that I gave you. Print on the bottom of the page. And ready for emergency pricing. The other is a emergency okay, well, my wife did here. So the other part, few prizes left. What do you do? Now, because you look out wide doorways, you also have one, they used to be
specializes in actually coming in and doing whether it's a chair, or that's free of charge. Either an ergonomic stand desk or a chair. I wish I could say that we would then buy that for you. We can't do that. We do that experience and seeing it. And it's something strongly encouraged. Folks have laptops and kind of manuals or stationary desks where they're kind of thinking about it. A lot of good process sitting for long durations. Any questions? Go to the EHM website, and you'll see underneath industrial you can just put your name
All right, we are going to need to, I hate to break off good conversation, but we are going to have to wrap up. If folks could just go back to your tables, I just have a comment or two more, and then we'll move on to the next presenter. I need to do just 2 comments, and I'll try to be fast. Yeah. All right. So as folks are migrating to your table, I'm very conscious you're on a tight timeline, and I know we've already run a little over. Hopefully that gave you a flavor for some of what's going on in our departments. Leaving you with 2 final thoughts. One is just, or maybe I'll just leave you with one final thought, given the time constraints, which is just simply, if you run into issues, please do pick up the phone and call us. All of the folks in the different departments that work within VPFA, they're here to try to make things easier and better for you. It might not always seem that way, but that is our goal. And so if you run into problems, please do pick up the phone and just call folks, because often if you can have a discussion on the front end of an issue, it's much more easy to come up with a solution and resolve it than if you worry about calling, you don't reach out, you take action, and then we have to deal with something on the back end. So I would just say all of the staff in the portfolio are anxious to help you figure out how to get your jobs done more effectively and efficiently, and if we can be of help, just give us a ring. Thanks.
All right, well, you've had your fun. Now back to the old format, but we're in the final streak. Through yesterday and today, now you've had experience with pretty much every major structure on the org chart for the university. My last count, and this changes day to day sometimes, but my last count was there are 10 reporting units, vice presidents and equivalents that report in, and you've heard from each of those units in one way or another. We're going to close the morning in the orientation with a group of speakers focused, as I mentioned earlier, not on the structure of the university, but rather on functions that will be of support to you. The first session will be on faculty and Officer of Administration Support. And for this, I'm going to reintroduce Senior Vice Provost for Academic Affairs, Barbara Altman, and Doug Blandy.
So it's great to be back here for the second day, and it's a beautiful day outside, and I'm sure you're all looking forward to enjoying the sunshine. And I also look forward to seeing you later this afternoon for the barbecue. And hopefully, if it's still nice outside, we can open up the patio and still enjoy the outside at that point. Also, I want to take this opportunity on behalf of Academic Affairs to thank Ken Doxey again and the team of people that he brought together to make this event possible. And so please join me in thanking me and Sonia Runberg. So as Barbara and I stressed yesterday, Academic Affairs is here to assist you in thriving at this institution. And one of the ways that we do this is by offering programs and workshops to help you to succeed. So what Barbara and I are going to do is talk about what some of those are. I'm going to begin with those workshops that we offer for tenure-related faculty. We are committed to your success, and as a consequence, we're committed in helping you understand the promotion and tenure process to the fullest. And as such, we offer workshops on an annual basis so that you can learn about the promotion and tenure process in general, but also if you're going from assistant professor to associate professor, fully understanding what the timelines are associated with that process, what makes for a good dossier, what makes for a successful presentation of your research, teaching, and service, what the external and internal evaluation process is, and how to think about what external evaluators you might recommend to your department or program heads to consider as part of that process. Ken Doxey is the person who primarily does these workshops. He's very knowledgeable about the process. He's been with Academic Affairs, Ken, for how many years? 7 years. He knows what the precedents are. He has seen what makes for successful cases, and the University of Oregon actually has a remarkable record in seeing people move from the assistant to the associate ranks. We also offer workshops that prepare people to go from associate professor to full, and what the complexities and what is different about that process as opposed to moving from assistant to associate. And then finally, we also offer workshops for people who are thinking about retirement and orienting them to the tenure reduction program.
I think you have to simply decide you're not going to applaud for us anymore, because you will see us so often that we'll just take it as given, but you're very kind. I want to make sure you know that we also have a full promotion system for non-tenure track faculty, and that thanks in large part to the improvements that have been brought about by our collective bargaining agreement with United Academics, we are actually rapidly becoming a best practices institution with regard to non-tenure track faculty. I also want to make sure that you know that we are always aware that we have the privilege of working with both officers of research as well as officers of instruction. So while those of you in the research world may feel that everything is set to a default mode of talking about instruction, we are also in the process of doing a great deal of work to refine and improve our processes for promotion, job descriptions, everything to do with officers of research in the non-tenured ranks. So in non-tenured track jobs, which have several different classifications, there are also 3 ranks available in each of those. It's a parallel promotion process to that of the tenure-related faculty, with the exception that it is not required, as is the promotion from assistant professor to associate professor. That's an up or out process. The only non-tenure track faculty to whom that up or out applies is our librarians, and they chose to retain that provision because of the contours of their field. But for all other non-tenure track appointments, promotion is available and encouraged, and we are providing workshops for promotion specifically for NTTF geared to both the faculty in question and the department heads, center directors, deans, who need to oversee those files and make sure that they are put together just as well as they possibly can be to showcase the accomplishments and success of their candidates and to give a good balanced assessment of their performance. So in each of your classifications, if you're a non-tenure track faculty member, either in research or in instruction, you are at one of 3 ranks, and you have 3 ranks available to you, and each promotion comes with a minimum raise of 8%, just like for the tenure-related faculty. So it is my privilege and pleasure to be the primary person responsible for NTTF business in Johnson Hall and in academic affairs. I share that responsibility with Ken and with Doug to some extent. We can back each other up. But on any matters to do with NTTF promotion, questions of contracting, questions of job definition, when are you going to have a workshop on this? Could we please have a workshop on that? Please get hold of me directly. And if you have any immediate questions, such as one that we just settled out just now out in the foyer, please grab me today as well. I'll be here for the rest of the morning, and then I'll be with you all for the barbecue this afternoon. First thing to flag is that we will be running a workshop in the middle of October specifically for officers of research in non-tenure track appointments. We have noticed a lack of promotions coming up through that classification of people, and we want to encourage those who have the track record to come up for promotion. You should be recognized for that success. So you may not quite be at that stage yet, but if you're interested in finding out about it, or if you are indeed coming in with some credit for prior service elsewhere, you might be curious about it. So you will get notices and invitations to these things, and we want you to come if you're interested. And you're always welcome to give me a call or send me an email.
So supporting our access through academic affairs, and like Barbara, those of you who are associated with tenure-related appointments, please feel free to contact me with any questions or concerns that you have. Also, we realize that you may want to seek answers from other types of sources. And so Gretchen Drew, who you met yesterday, who is associated with communications out of academic affairs, monitors our website, which we consider to be a rich resource of information to assist you. So if you go to our website, and you can go there from the U of O homepage, you will find very detailed information and policies associated with appointments, the promotion and tenure process, the kinds of support that our office offers to faculty, and links to other types of support, the family-friendly practices that we're putting in place out of academic affairs, information on leaves, classroom support, professional development, and there's also quite a lot of material associated with the collective bargaining agreement, including a link to that agreement.
The last thing we want to tell you about now, before turning the podium over, is that as of October 1st, we will have a new version of a faculty handbook up online. This was a provision of the collective bargaining agreement with United Academics, and we've been working furiously at it for the last 11 months. Faculty handbooks are these days a damnably difficult thing to do, because what it really is, unlike 20 years ago or even 10 years ago, it's very difficult to contain all of that information that refers out to a dozen different websites and depends on policy statements that come from the state and from the university, some of which are shifting right now because we have a new board of trustees. It's difficult to pin down the information in any kind of definitive form. But we are, in fact, putting up a new version of a faculty handbook, which will have a subtitle after a colon that will read something like a resource guide. And it will help point people to the authoritative sources of information on any number of different topics that you might want to see. The intent, obviously, is to centralize a kind of a portal where you can find easy access to questions of concern to you with regard to your professional progress. So that should go up on October the 1st, and there's feverish work going on in our office to get something up there. We warn you that some of it will be provisional, and that is well outside the the possibility of academic affairs to control, because the university is doing a policy review of all of the policies we have inherited as part of the state system, which are now actually passing into the hands of our board of trustees. So about 560 policies need to be revised and reviewed. And so what we will do is you will get something that looks like a very thorough outline that will send you to the best possible source on a particular topic. And I want to make sure we reassure you that this will be geared to both represented faculty members, those who are part of the bargaining unit in United Academics, and those who are unrepresented, because we have a significant number of faculty colleagues who, by virtue of their position title or their supervisory status, are not in the bargaining unit. So you too are in the fold, and we want to make sure you know what you're dealing with and provide you with the information you need as well. Same goes for OAs, obviously. OAs need to be fully informed, and we are working, OAs fall into Doug's portfolio primarily, but we're working very hard to make sure that we consolidate the necessary information. And with coming HR reforms, there will be much more attention to OA types of jobs, job descriptions, and other sorts of policies for OAs. So we have not forgotten any sector of our colleagues, and we invite you to check in on October 1st to see what this first iteration of the new faculty handbook will look like. Okay?
Thank you.
We're going to turn it back to Ken.
By way of introduction of our next speaker, I will ask you a question. How many of you keep looking at this trying to figure out what time it is? Okay. Our next speaker is Melissa Wu, who's our Vice Provost for Information Services, hence the reference, and Chief Information Officer.
I love how you lowered the microphone just for me. Thanks, Ken. Good morning, folks. And as Ken mentioned, I'm Melissa Wu, and this is my colleague. Get in front of the microphone, please, sir.
I'm Patrick Chin.
Patrick is our Director of IT Strategic Communications. So very quickly, I have two hats. One of them, as Ken mentioned, is the Vice Provost for Information Services. So that's the head of our central IT organization. And the other one is the Campus Chief Information Officer. And we understand that during your time here, you're really going to need technology to support your research, creative activity, teaching and learning, and just getting paid. I mean, let's face it, that's the important part, folks. Something to remember about this campus is that we are very highly distributed in our IT support. And although that may sound chaotic, that's actually to your benefit, because that means that most of you have IT support professionals in your schools, colleges, and units that are closer to you and understand your particular needs better than any central IT organization can. So if you're going to come away with anything, is to remember that your local IT support professional is one of your new best friends. Okay, so I just am curious, who here has met one of their local IT support professionals? Oh, hey, far out. Okay, I got to quiz you a little harder. Who can name the name of one of them? Okay, well, I saw this gentleman go up, his hand way back in the back. Go up first. Okay, so what area are you from? Okay, far out. Okay, so Doc? I can't throw. That's for you. Hey, at least I didn't hit you, man, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to Patrick, who really actually knows everything that's going on.
So as Melissa mentioned, with distributed technology on campus, there are certain things that Information Services does handle, and those things are usernames, passwords, and other account-related management, telephones and voicemail, Ethernet and wireless networking, email and calendaring, administrative applications for the business side. As Melissa mentioned, we help run the ERP that makes sure that everybody gets paid, among other things. And we also have a technology service desk and hardware repair shop over at Mackenzie Hall. A quick word about the technology service desk. While you do get local support from your local IT staff, there may be some instances where they refer you over to the tech desk. It's also a great contact point for your students. If they have technology questions, you're more than welcome to refer them to the tech desk over at Mackenzie Hall. The hardware hardware repair shop also is something I'd like to highlight because it's something that unfortunately most people seem to need to use at one point or another. They will do warranty repair on Apple equipment and also non-warranty work on Apple and Windows equipment. So if you have a laptop that's not behaving well, you can drop it by there and they will help you get that repaired. So that's a really quick summary of the services we offer. There are some key things that I'd like you to remember, and these things will be on a test here in a second, so please make note. 3 things. While we like to think that our services are up all the time, stuff happens. We have a status website, status.uoregon.edu. If a service isn't working, we post that information there. So rather than banging your head against the metaphorical wall trying to get something to work, check out the status website. See if the service is simply not working. Like I said, we post status information there about our services. Second key thing to remember, the IT website, it.uoregon.edu. Not only does it have great information on how to configure devices, like getting a new smartphone on the wireless network or getting your email and calendar set up, it also has the contact information for the technology service desk and other key technology folks on campus. It's a great resource for those of you who like to self-serve. And then the last thing is the group that I mentioned a minute ago is our technology service desk. They have information on the IT website, but their email address is techdesk@uoregon.edu. So if you remember any of those any three things from our presentation, I would like you to remember those 3 things because they will help you get to the people who can help. There's a lot of technology on campus, and that's probably the best way to approach it in a short period of time. So with that in mind,
Do I get to hit people?
you do get to hit more people. So we're going to ask a couple quick trivia questions before we're done here. So this one's not technology specific. Show of hands, who can tell me when the university was founded? Barbara doesn't count.
Yeah, Barbara doesn't count. I think I saw this gentleman's hand go first.
That is correct.
Okay, wait. I don't want to hit Doug.
There we go. All right. So that was the catch and toss portion of the presentation. So here's the test part. Can anybody name one of the key takeaways that I just listed?
You don't count either.
In the green shirt. Excellent.
Okay, I'm not throwing this. Yeah. That would hurt. Okay.
You get a Tech Desk water bottle. And then for our last trivia question, and we'll give away another water bottle for this. Can somebody name 3 or more of the services that Information Services offers? That was the list that I gave at the very beginning of the presentation. Good.
Payroll or getting paid.
Good enough.
And telephone, voicemail.
Excellent. On behalf of Information Services and all of the technology staff on campus, we'd love to welcome you to Eugene and the University of Oregon. We're really happy to see you all here. Thank you.
Those are stress ducks, by the way, so additional resource for you. Our next speaker is Julie Brown, Senior Director of Communications within University Advancement. We often hear or see Julie on the evening news, particularly when something bad happened. Julie would also like to hear from you when something good happens.
I like that very much. When I go on the news, it means I've drawn the short straw, but I very much want to be a part of being able to tell the media and the rest of the world about the great work that you're doing. So I want to echo my friends in Information Services and welcome you all to the university. So our office, Public Affairs Communications, we serve as the hub for communications for the university. In addition to that, each of the schools and colleges and the larger departments typically also have a communications contact and some function. So we work really closely with them. But our office centrally kind of serves as that first stop for media when they're looking for information, or they want interviews about the university, or they're looking for specific expertise. Our office is typically the first place that they will call. Our office also issues news releases and information outward when we do find out about really great things that we want people to know about. In addition to kind of that working with traditional media, we also manage the social media properties for the campus. So if you haven't had a chance to check out our Twitter and our Facebook or our LinkedIn or Instagram, and that's something that you do, I would encourage you to do that as well. The other news site that we maintain, and I would absolutely encourage you to take a look at it, it's called Around the O. It's a news website where we keep a lot of information on there that you need to know. A lot of it can have to do with deadlines for HR benefits, and hey, we're going to let 4,000 new students move in today, and traffic might be a touch tight. But then we also use that as an opportunity to talk about really great programs and efforts and things that are happening. So if you are interested in keeping up on what your colleagues are doing, I would highly recommend taking a look at that. So as I mentioned, we really focus on the reactive and the proactive media relations and other communications needs. So I would definitely encourage you to get in touch with our group when you have published findings that are coming out. And in addition to that, to that end, we have one person on our team who is solely focused on that. He is our Director of Science and Research Communications. He is in touch with a lot of the journals on a daily basis to be in the loop on that type of information, but I would certainly encourage you to reach out to us as well if you know of something that you've been involved with that's going to be published. Also, keep us in mind when you're going to be having some speaking engagements. If you get invited to the White House, please let us know. We want to know about that. And also, it doesn't have to be kind of the end product of your work. If you have efforts underway with organizations in our community that might be in the works or just getting started, we'd like to hear about those as well. One of the other things that can be unique to our university is some of the opportunities for our undergraduate students to be involved in research. We want to hear about those as well so that we can demonstrate how important that is to us here. The other area where I would definitely recommend picking up the phone and giving us a quick call, if there's breaking news anywhere in the world that your expertise may have a connection to, let us know. We would love to be able to share that information and make you available as an expert. Technology-wise, on our campus, we have an ISDN line, which is the digital phone line. It's located over at the Knight Library. It can sound like you are in the NPR studio right with them, so we make that available quite often. In addition to that, radio opportunities, we have a television studio with a satellite uplink, and we can make that available, and we work with our CMET colleagues in the library very often to be able to do that. We've been able to facilitate lots of interviews with Al Jazeera and ESPN and everything in between. So know that those resources are available to you. Our office, our team, it's kind of scattered all around, but our public affairs office, just know that we're a resource for you, and if there's information that we can help to share about the expertise that you have and that you've brought to the university, please feel free to give us a call. Thank you.
If good things happen, we want you to make the news. If you insist on making the news for bad things, you want to make them far more interesting than violating copyright law. So to help you avoid that, we have Katie Kronholm, who's our copyright clearance coordinator.
Hi there. Oh, hi. I know by now you're probably a little overwhelmed with information, so I'm going to try and make it a little bit more, my presentation a little more fun. And I decided to do a top 10 list for you. However, I didn't really have the budget for a really great speechwriter, so my comedy is not all that wonderful. hopefully maybe next year. So, top 10 things you need to know about copyright and my office at the University of Oregon. The Copyright Clearance Office is set up to assist you in using copyrighted material. We also manage the production of course packets at the Duck Store. Number 9, we are not the copyright police. We are here to help you understand your responsibilities and rights when using copyrighted material on campus. We are not tracking what you do. Number 8, we have a very liberal fair use policy on the University of Oregon campus. However, there must be a reasoned decision behind your fair use claim. My office is here to help guide you in understanding fair use and how to apply it. So in other words, it can't just be fair use because you want it to be fair use or because it's cheaper for your students or you're wanting to save the students money. There has to be a balanced approach to that. And if you have any questions about whether something's going to be fair use, always call me. Number 7, copyright is not just about making copies. Posting copyrighted material on a password-protected website can be just as much of a violation as making photocopies. And just because you found it on the internet doesn't mean that it's copyright-free. Sorry, folks. You need to be aware of what you can do with copyrighted materials on campus. You also need to be aware about your own rights for your copyrighted materials. And my office is here to answer those questions if you have them. Okay, what my office does, and this is number 6, we research and obtain copyright permissions for your course packets and other projects at so that university intellectual property is protected. Besides course packets, we obtain permissions for publications, seminars, and conference materials, and the use of images for posters, flyers, and websites. Number 5, my office is part of Printing and Mailing Services, a full-service printing and digital print department on campus. The staff are University of employees, and we're here to serve you on the University of Oregon's very unique academic schedule. Number 4, Printing and Mailing Services is located in the Baker Downtown Center. We have plenty of customer parking. We're steps from the MX and just blocks away from some of the best coffee in Eugene. Number 3, these aren't your parents' course packets. We consider them to be custom textbooks created by you and printed to your specifications. I have some samples. This is a course packet. So is this with all its color copies and divider pages. We're extremely flexible, in tailoring the course packets to your needs. No order is too big or too small. We also offer digital course packets with some pretty cool features too. And we can integrate other things into the course packets like DVDs, CDs, access codes to online materials. Sorry, number 2. If it needs to be in a student's hand, if you're asking them to print it out and carry it to class, then put it in their hands to begin with. It will save the students time and money. Printer ink and paper is really expensive these days. And the number 1 thing you need to know is that my name is Katie. My phone number is 346-5370. My email is katik@uoregon.edu. And when in doubt, contact me.
University is a place of learning. It shouldn't be a place of learning just for the students. We're all part of the university. Why shouldn't we get to learn too? Next up, we have Pam Farmer, who's the Director of Organizational Development and Training within the Office of Human Resources.
Hello, I've been here about 8 years, and so I'm still relatively new in the eyes of the University of Oregon, but welcome to the university. It's a great place to work. How many are from Oregon in this room? okay? Others are from different states. I've been at 5 land-grant institutions, Research One institutions across the country, and so I've gotten a chance to experience some different cultures. Places that there were many things that looked very similar, but there were also some things that were different as well. And culture is a big thing about you starting out as a new employee, understanding the culture that you're joining here. So I want to just give you my impression of the culture at the university. I'll say that we have a renegade spirit at this university and an attitude that boundaries need to be limited because we really want to be able to do the things that we are interested in doing. And so I've seen that as I've been here. I've seen a trailblazing culture, people that identify ideas and then they blaze the trail to meet that need. They're looking at need and then meeting that need. I think that we use an entrepreneurial approach in what we do. We're creative and innovative. Sometimes impatient, wanting things to move forward a little bit more quickly than they do, but always looking for ways to sustain the environment, to sustain the human resource of the institution. And I've also seen that we're very passionate about the mission of the institution, research, teaching, and service. In all of those institutions that I've been, there have been points that we have been similar, but there have also been unique norms that have distinguished them from the other. The point of commonality that I've seen across all of those institutions has been that there's a commitment to ongoing professional development, and certainly that's the case at the University of Oregon as well. My office is the Office of Organizational Development and Training. We provide a central resource so that you can find all of the training that's going on at this institution in one spot. We have 25 departments that are currently contributing to that, showing the training that they're doing. So we wanted to make it easy for the employees to be able to find what's going on. So you go to Organizational Development and Training, and you can certainly find that. You can register for those courses as well, and if you're interested in teaching courses, we can give you instructor rights so that you can use the administrative structures as well. We operate on 3 basic principles. We want to provide ease and access for people to find what it is that they need. We want to build strategic partnerships to meet identified need and to do that with innovation. And part of that partnership is to hear from you about what's important to you so that you can be successful in the work that you're doing here. And the last thing is that we want to demonstrate return on investment so that we know that there's an impact behind what we're offering to you. So toward that end, at each of your tables, you should have a handout that is a knowledge and skills analysis. If you take a minute and just look at that, I want you to think about what you're starting with as you come to this institution. You have some wonderful, unique talents that you're bringing, and those are things that we need to tap into fully as you are here. I want you to think about what it is that your current proficiency level is in the areas that we can provide support on, and then what you think the proficiency level is that you need to be successful at this institution. And then if there's a gap across those, we want you to be thinking about having a conversation with the person that is your supervisor, the dean that is the dean of your college, your department head, whoever that might be, so that you can start talking about what we can do to give back to you so that you can truly optimize this unique gift that you're bringing to the university. So I'm going to give you a couple stories to think about as you're looking at that gap analysis. Think about working with the different generations in the workplace. We've got multiple generations and we've got different attitudes and values in those generations. I think we need to start talking more about what's in common across those generations as opposed to the differences. But we do have some differences that are going on. So if you're in a situation where you're feeling overwhelmed, or you're feeling frustrated or fearful in dealing with the different generations, then you might look at the communications area on that gap analysis, or you might look at the diversity area and see if there's something that we can do to help you feel more comfortable. Let's say you've got some heavy deadlines to work in the work that you're doing and you're not certain that you can meet them. You're just a little overwhelmed and you're stuck at the moment. Take a look at those business skills and the leadership skills. When we're talking about project management, we can give you some help in that regard. We can do that by instructor-led courses, or we can put you on online courses. We have an online resource that is so robust, and they have coursework that's related to the Project Management Certification Institute. So if that's something that would help you, then we can get you in touch with that. Say you're a new leader and you're wanting to plan a retreat with certain elements in mind, and you just don't know how to go about doing that. Look in the facilitation area. That's a service we provide, and we can help you organize that and have a really wonderful exchange with your department. If you're wanting to get a sense of how you're perceived as a leader, but you feel a little bit too myopic in that approach, Talk with us about strategic leadership and how you can identify the core values that you're trying to promote in the unit that you're leading, and how we can create a survey so you can understand what people's perceptions are about that and about your leadership in those areas, and also communicate the core values so that people start seeing those as a guiding principle for your unit. We have a Financial Stewardship Institute. If you're involved in working with budgets, we have a Financial Stewardship Institute that gives you information about what it is that we do at the university and why we do it. And you're dealing with the subject matter experts, so you're really interacting with the people that are dealing with accounting, with budget planning, with strategic financial stewardship, contracting, internal controls, all of that. If that's something that's going to help you, get a hold of me and we'll get you hooked up with that. And finally, I do want to say that we are a small department. We're offering a huge number of courses each year, but we're also looking for individuals that are interested in teaching courses to the employees of the university. So if that's something that you're interested in, we have an affiliate trainers network that we will get you lined up. We can provide instructional design coaching for that. We can help you with the administrative pieces on that, but we would love to tap into your expertise and let that be shared with other employees at the university as well. So the last thing that I have for you is that bookmark that's on your table. That is something, I'd like you to look at that box design. That's something that I worked with Cassie Adelabo when I first came to the university to design that. I don't want anyone here to think that we all are trying to get people to look alike and act alike and speak alike. We all bring unique characteristics to this institution. So you've got a bunch of different box shapes in there, and they can stand alone and be very valuable alone. But if we find ways that we can communicate together well with one another, we can bring all of those boxes together and we can create a beautiful whole. And that's what I hope. Let your uniqueness come out and then join in with the whole of the institution to be as powerful as you can be. On the back of that, you have information about how you can access the e-learning resource. There are over 3,000 courses that are available to you. About 900 of those have to do with business skills, so that could deal with project management, business analysis, accounting, communication skills, conflict resolution, all sorts of things, human resource issues, and there's a huge array with that. So tap into that, tap into us, let me know what it is that you need at the university and help us support you so that you can be as successful as you can be. Organizational development and training. Welcome.
That box would make a terrific lapel pin. I'll just put that out there. Next up, we have Terry Rowe, who's going to speak with you about the Officers of Administration Council. Terry.
Thank you. Hello. I'll try to keep this brief because I've looked at this clock many times too, and it hasn't helped me, and I'm sure everyone's ready for lunch. Let me be the first one to welcome you and congratulate you on your new position here at the university. I'm sure you're receiving lots of information and will have information overload if you don't already. My name is Terry Rowe, and I am the department manager for economics, but the reason I'm here to talk to you today is I am also the chair of the Officers of Administration Council. And before I can really tell you much about what that is, I thought I might tell you a little bit about what the Officers of Administration are. The university employs about 1,400 officers of administration, and they range from central and departmental administrators to instrument tuners to physicians in the health center and many more. Many times, because we're so spread out, people feel very isolated in their positions within their departments as OAs. And one of the things that we try to do is work as an Officers of Administration Council to bring people together and help you feel less isolated and know how you can be involved in the university and in university governance. I'm just going to read you what, I'm going to actually read word for word because I will get it wrong otherwise. The OA Council is an elected body that represents the UO's diverse group of professionals and promote and facilitate communication, identity, and address pertinent issues, share information, enhance professional identity, and create opportunities for collegiality. The council meets twice a month, or well, one time a month, every other Friday. The second Friday of the month, we actually do meet every other Friday, but only the second Friday of the month is open. The other one is a working session. These meetings are often have one or several of the institutional's leadership come in and talk to us about issues that may be of interest to OAs or the campus in general. So they're very informative and give you a good way to get to know who some of the leaders are that are making decisions or have information about how decisions are being made on campus. We welcome you to come. We welcome you to let us know in advance if there are issues that are important to you that you'd like to see on an agenda or people that you'd specifically like to hear from. Finally, what I'd like to tell you about is, in particular, we have an annual OA meeting, which is held this year on October 28th from 3 to 5 in the EMU ballroom. And that's from 3 to 5. We'll have some conversation, some networking opportunity, information on what the OA Council has been doing, what our goals are for the year going forward. And then we'll have Interim President Scott Coltrane, Vice President of Finance and Administration Jamie Moffitt, and the UO Senate President Robert Keir speaking to the group, presenting what they would like to share with us, and then having question and answer time. So that's a really great opportunity to come get involved with other OAs and also to hear from some of the executive leadership about things going forward. We have some information out on the table in the lobby if you're interested in knowing more. It gives our website, which is oa.uoregon.edu. And feel free to contact any of us at any time. Our names are all, and contact information is all on the website. And now I'll get out of the way. Thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you. Oh, who can tell me when the annual meeting is? All right, who was that?
I feel a challenge coming on. I'm going to take just a minute because I see we have it to do a shout out for one of you. I'm spaced out. When I look at large crowds, I never see individual faces. My students know that too. Somewhere out here, as she stayed, is Susan Burton, who is, there she is, who is, do you want to say a few words? Assistant Director for Student and Alumni Relations.
Hello. So I've actually been here since January, but since this is a once-a-year thing, this is my orientation, though I've been here for 9 months. But I wanted to let all of you know, particularly the faculty, about an opportunity that the Alumni Association can offer you. Because anytime you want to have alumni come into your classroom, if you have work with student groups who want to have alumni come in and talk to their students, if you want to have alumni for events, we are a great resource to help you find those alumni. We have access to our family of 180,000 Duck alumni. We have contact information for them, as well as know who we can and cannot contact, which is very good because we don't want to go contacting alumni who specifically requested that we not do so. So if you have a specific event, say you want alumni from the chemistry department who are now doing these certain things, we're really great resources to help you find that, because we know which alumni were already in the chemistry department. We know what they're doing now based on what they've self-reported to us, and we have great resources to connect them. And so we can either help you connect to them, we can connect for you, we can help facilitate that interaction, or if we're with students, we definitely do it where we facilitate the interaction, because we want our students to have the experience of connecting with our alumni and building that relationship themselves, and we just step back and help them do so and teach them how they can connect with these alumni and get them to come back for events. So if you ever have alumni needs, definitely give us a call in the Alumni Association. So anything for student events or classes would come through me as the Assistant Director for Student Alumni Relations. If anyone wants my card, I have a couple with me and I'm happy to hand them out. So feel free to give me a call. My extension is 63435, and my number and my email would be sburton@uoregon.edu. Thanks.
We're going to turn to our final session now. Libraries have books in them. Increasingly, the libraries have other things in them as well, and the books get harder to find. A library is basically a portal to knowledge, perhaps, and information. I'm going to introduce this session with Andrew Bonamici, who's the Associate Dean for Media and Instructional Services. Andrew's one of my top 5 go-to people at the university, remarkably knowledgeable about far more than libraries and technology, about learning spaces, modern approaches to teaching and learning, and so on. Andrew, please.
Well, thank you, Ken. That was very kind. Can everybody hear me all right? Good. Well, on behalf of the UO Libraries faculty and staff, I want to welcome all of you to the university. We're here to support your teaching and your research with a very wide range of services, collections, learning environments, and much more. So I'm going to go through a couple things that I want you all to do. So the first thing is get to know your subject librarian. We actually have a couple of them right here. So Jonathan and Mar, stand up, say hello. So your subject librarians are the people who can help you with collection development and access to information resources for your research and your own scholarship. They can help you with reference and research assistance for you, but also for your students. Ask about our undergraduate research awards sometime and encourage your talented U of O undergrads to take full advantage of their opportunity here with a major research library at their fingertips. It's something they might not always have. We also provide instruction, and your subject librarian can help you arrange guest lectures or develop library assignments in collaboration with you and your GTFs. The instruction program serves the curriculum at all levels, first year through graduate. And last but not least, your subject librarian is a person who can help you navigate the many facilities, online systems, collections, and services that are part of the library and give you referrals to other library and campus colleagues. Sometimes it takes a village. It's a complex environment, and working together in a network, we can really get some things done and save you a lot of time. And you'll be hearing more about this from Cassia Delabo very shortly. So that's first, get to know your subject librarian. Second is get to know the library website, library.uoregon.edu if you haven't already found it. And one tip is to find the faculty and staff tab on the website and bookmark that. Drag that up into your toolbar. Use that when you go to the library website, because what we've done is we've organized a lot of information resources that are aimed at you, at instruction and at research, as opposed to the default, which is really aimed more at undergraduates, and it's a little more entry level, shall we say. So it's organized by library materials, various tools and tricks and tips and paths to find resources and collections. Technology, we offer a very wide range of technology support services, and you'll be hearing more about that very shortly from Helen Chu. Teaching support resources and research support. So I really encourage you to explore the links on that faculty and staff services tab. One thing I'll say, too, those of you who may have been here a little bit longer, is that over the summer, we migrated to a new catalog, Library Search. And this system integrates holdings throughout the Orbis Cascade Consortium, which is a network of 38 libraries in Oregon, Washington, and Idaho. These are all the major academic libraries. When you're using Library Search, please remember this, just trust me, you really do want to sign in. You'll be prompted to sign in, and we've had people say, why do I have to sign in? I'm searching the library catalog. Just take my word for it. It's going to save you a lot of time and expose you to many more resources and services in the long run. So it's immediate that you need to be signed in to have immediate access to your account, see the items you have on loan, on hold, ready for pickup, save your searches and items for use in the future, get alerts of new library materials, pretty easy to set those up, and so on. So just go ahead, do it, get in the habit of signing in to the library search system. Third is get to know the library's facilities. So the night library is the main library that houses the library's general collections in humanities and social sciences, music, business, government documents, microforms, maps, much more. Also offers a lot of study areas and computers and several classrooms. Special interest to the faculty are the Center for Media and Educational Technologies on the ground floor, special collections and university archives on the second floor north. The Digital Scholarship Center is on the main floor, and they offer a range of support services aimed mainly at advanced researchers, graduate students, faculty who want to use digital methods and tools. They're also responsible for the institutional repository, Scholars Bank, and many of our open access publishing initiatives. And then you'll be hearing about the Instructional Technology Referral Office. We also have a number of subject libraries in the library system: Architecture and Allied Arts, where Mar works, the Global Scholars Hall, Commons, the Johnny Jakewell Law Library, Mathematics Library, the Lloyd and Dorothy Rippey Library at the Marine Biology Institute, the Allen Price Science Commons and Research Library, which, if you're a science library user, be aware that's about to get a major overhaul beginning winter term, and the UO Portland Library and Learning Commons in the White Stag Block. So there's one more thing I want to say, which is that I am here on behalf of our brand new dean, Adrian Lim. And Adrian, so if you haven't had a chance to meet Adrian during your new faculty orientation, I do encourage you to say hello, get to know her. So we really want you and your students to find the libraries to be a place of exploration, discovery, and community. We're a hub for so many things that happen academically at the university, and we really want you to take the fullest advantage of that. So with that, I will turn the podium over to Helen Shu, who's Director of Academic Technologies. Thank you very much.
Sorry, the curse of being only 5'2" with boots on. Hi, I am Helen Chu. I'm the Director of Academic Technology for the university, and I will be passing around, or Andrew, if you wouldn't mind passing around the box of swag. There'll be some items in there, which I will talk about in a second. The first thing I would like everyone to do is to take out your cell phones. This is interesting, right? So Andrew said that CMET, the Center for Media and Educational Technology, CMET, is on the ground floor of the library, and that is very appropriate because in many ways we are the boots on the ground for your instructional technology needs. Specifically, and maybe most pertinent, hopefully before Monday morning at 8 when you start teaching, the classroom technologies are something that we support for you. And hopefully everything works perfectly all the time. However, if something should happen, you should pull out your cell phones and call the number that you're going to put into your phones right now. Okay, everyone ready for that? So what do you want first, the name? CMET. And the phone number you want is 541-346-3091. Okay. 541-346-3091. Ken does report that it is ringing, and I hope it means that there's someone answering. Oh, he's talking, so that's good. And what we will do is we will try to troubleshoot with you immediately, because we understand that you have about 37 seconds before the natives get restless when you're teaching. And if that looks like it's not going well, we will run someone out to you right away. So hopefully, though, you will contact us before then so you can get familiar with the Crestron or Extron systems in the classrooms. We have, generally speaking, 3 different types of systems on campus. We are trying to standardize, but when you look at a 5 to 6 year refresh cycle, over 160 plus rooms, You have to have a couple different configurations out there. So what can you do about that? After this session, I think your agendas say that there are technology drop-in sessions from 3:15 to 4:15. There's a change on that. We will start at 2:15. Okay, so we're upstairs, second, third, and fourth floor. We will have people there to help you with that, and you can actually plug in and so on and so forth and feel a little bit more comfortable with your stuff. You can also call that same number, 346-3091, and schedule us to come out and meet with you. You can come by the ground floor of the library to really get comfortable with that, because that's the last thing you need the first day you start teaching, right? That's not all we do. We will answer phone calls and patch things along, or help try to coordinate suggestions or requests for lighting or heating and other things with that classroom environment, even though we don't actually take care of those ourselves. We will coordinate with all the different groups we need to try to make that work for you. Okay, so one-stop shop there. We also do Blackboard support. How many people are familiar with Blackboard already? Great. So you'll want to go to the refresher or the advanced tools workshop, and everyone else can take advantage of the intro workshop. So in that box that's going around, there's a flyer with some workshops that we're doing. We're doing 2 of them upstairs. Those are the hands-on sessions, but we have 2 more next week. We also have the times that you can drop in and plug in your laptops in some of the rooms as well around campus. The other things you might be interested in are clickers, general instructional technology support. If you have questions about some cool things you want to do, we partner with our colleagues over in the Teaching Effectiveness Program, Academic Extension, your school and college IT directors. We try to make it as seamless as possible, so go ahead and call us. In that box, you'll also see a couple other things. This is an audio cable. So in some of those rooms, if you're not connecting through HDMI, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, you should just grab one of these. So when you start including some YouTube or video and there's sound involved, and you find out that the sound connection's a little bit too far from your laptop, this is for you to keep. If you want to do clickers, we have base stations for free for you, and then your students will buy the clickers. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about for any or all of this, please just come upstairs. There's also this highlighter, which is just a little swag, but on this, more importantly, is a URL. We are in the process, and pretty far in the RFP process, request for proposals process, for a learning management system. Our current contract for Blackboard runs through September 2015. Blackboard is fully supported through September 2015. Blackboard is one of 5 vendors who have responded to our RFP to continue to be our learning management system, but there are also 4 others in play. So you will probably hear rumors or questions. You might hear people saying, oh, aren't we going away from that? Oh, no, I think we're saying, oh, no, I think we are. So those kinds of conversations I know are going on. We do not have an announcement yet. We will soon. And as soon as we do, I'm sure everyone on this campus will know about it. Okay? But if you have questions about that, this URL will answer them. In that box also is my a business card. So if you have questions about any of those things, please reach out to me. Or if you like coffee, tea, or other drinks, please give me a call, and I'm happy to buy coffee and get to know you. Okay? And I wanted to say one last thing about the workshops or the drop-in sessions upstairs. It is not just a CMAT session. It is a collaborative effort. So we've got folks from information services. We've got teaching effectiveness program. We've got academic extension. So anything that you have questions about, from claiming your Duck ID to checking your employee pay stub on DuckWeb to Blackboard to clickers, research support, please do come upstairs. One of our colleagues or one of our group partners is the intro office, and that is a partnership with Academic Extension. So they will be there as well. And on that note, I will turn it over to Sandra Gladney, who is the Director of Academic Extension. So it's hard to follow swag. I got nothing. I got no swag. I got nothing you need on Monday. You probably don't, you know, it's what I have for you is cloud information in the cloudy part of your brain. I'm the executive director of academic extension, and basically what I want you to take away is a vague notion that we're out there. What we are not is not a cooperative extension. We don't teach master gardening. We don't teach animal husbandry. That's our colleagues at Oregon State University. But what we are is an arm of academic affairs. We work for the folks here who've been putting this together for you. And we do all the special programs. We talk to lots of faculty and administrators who say, it's really complicated, it's really special. And we say, no, you're not. For us, that's what we do. Things like grant-funded programs that reach out to teachers, for instance, where you need a special credit registration system, maybe workshop support, maybe professional associations that you want to host a meeting or large conferences, all the things that are sort of out there in special land. That's the kind of thing we do. It's so eclectic that it's really hard to pick a specific example. So if you would just take away in your cloud the thinking that once you're done teaching and doing the routine research and things that you do, and you have something special, we'd be happy to help you with that. We are fortunate to partner with folks like the library because we share that mission of serving all of campus and all the academics. And the particular project that we hope to finish with today, because I'm theatrically, you start strong, you finish strong, right, Chad? You got to finish big. So hopefully this is the big finish for today, Cassia Delabo.
Okay. First, I want to make a correction. This fabulous design is actually my sister, Marla. And if you see somebody who kind of looks like me and doesn't say hi to you, it's because it's my sister. When she first started working here, my students would come up to her and say, I'm sorry to turn the camera. She would say, I gave you that. It's like my sister.
I am here because of the fabulous partnership between the library and academic extension. One of the things Sandra did not mention, which is one of the strengths, I think, of academic extension, is that they have been the innovators in a lot of ways because in their budget model and in the structure of their businesses, they're very entrepreneurial. So they get things done very quickly, and they don't necessarily get bogged down in the usual bureaucratic process that we are as a major institution. So they are very good at investing in innovation and making things happen. They were one of the first to really invest in online education, and so they've been involved in that for quite a long time. I was one of the first faculty on campus in 1997 to teach online, and it was through academic extension and also through Doug Blandy when he was part of arts administration that innovation came to be true. And it was early investment in Blackboard before we purchased the license. In that vein, the intro office, which is why I'm standing here, is one of the things I like to do is be part of new startup projects. And so I helped through academic extension to manifest a vision that came out of academic affairs and the Educational Technology Committee because we saw a real problem across campus with this diffused and dispersed resource. And so some schools do have the fabulous IT person available while other schools do not. And faculty not quite sure where to go. You've heard a lot about resources, but you may not be sure where to start. CMET might be the right place. TEP might be the right place. Or maybe the person down the hall might be the right place. Our task with the intro office, Instructional Technology Referral Office, which we started calling the concierge, but I think Lindsay and Greg like the agent. They want to be your agent. What I'd like you to do, I like Helen's technique, is for you to get your cell phone out. And if you're able to get online, I hope you have a smartphone. If not, get your pen out and just write INTRO, intro, which I just realized the other day it's your introduction. It's like it's the first place to go when you don't know where to start. And I know you've been listening to information for days, and so I'm going to make this very short. The history of the office is on the website, intro.uoregon.edu. There's a live chat feature, and the people who will be answering you, if you would, Lindsay and Greg, started with us they hit the ground running in August, and in that very short time, they got a website up, they got a live chat feature, they got some basic start to collect all the information about the resources across campus. And the website is just started now, and our goal is to very quickly fill that with all of the resources across campus, large and small, that you may want to tap into to manifest some ideas. Maybe it's an online structure for a class, maybe it's a video production, maybe it's a new tool that you want to figure out how to use, or maybe you want to see what's going on in terms of your colleagues and peers and what are they doing to streamline and do a more effective job teaching. And what the goal is to remove as many obstacles as possible to help you be innovative with educational technology. And so one of the things, you're wandering around campus trying to figure out where to go, we do not want you to do that. So if you're not sure, Greg and Lindsay will help. Go to the library and go to 147A, or just hop on the website and do the live chat. They have drop-in hours. So I don't want to take any more time. I know you're already loaded up with too much information. They will help you navigate the 2:15 time as well. They're starting already. They're going to help you figure out where to go even this afternoon. So that's all I have to say, and I really welcome you to the campus. This is an incredibly exciting time to be here. While we're going through lots of transitions, it's the most exciting time, and I've been with this campus for a long time, and I'm really excited about this year. So great time to join us.
You're so close to done. But before I let you go, I want to reintroduce Barbara Altman, Senior Vice Provost for Academic Affairs, and then I'll come back and say just a couple words at the end.
Thanks, Ken. I know that your heads must be swimming, just what Cassia said. But 2 plugs for things coming up for the rest of today. Go outside, breathe deep, do 10 jumping jacks, and then come back for the UA luncheon. Please take advantage of that. It's a great source of information. Our colleagues from UA leadership will be there, and as many of us who can attend will be there too. So take advantage of another free meal. We need to fortify you before you head into your terms. So free food. And then please also, if you are at all interested, meet with Ken and me at 2 o'clock this afternoon for an open kind of a Q&A on issues specifically related to non-tenure track faculty members. We would welcome any and all of you, whatever your classification and status, and we will be very responsive to any questions you have. It's one of those, you might have hesitated in this big group, but that will be the place where we can walk you through a lot of information. That's all I wanted to say, and Ken will shut things down.
Those were the things I was going to say. I'll remind you also of the barbecue dinner. So you get 2 meals today, 3. And there's still bacon, I think. The barbecue dinner will be held here again, not at the Pioneer Mother Lawn. Pioneer Mother Lawn is my favorite place on campus, outdoors. This will be my new favorite place on campus, indoors. And you'll be happy to be warm and dry. Before we leave, I'm looking to see if they're here. I want to just reiterate thanks to the people that made this happen, particularly Sonia Runberg, who did heavy lifting in a year. We completely restructured orientation this year. You don't know that because it's your first one. But also want to thank the rest of the academic affairs staff who were invaluable in all this. At the back table are Gretchen Drew and Pam Palanek. And maybe here, maybe out at the tables, maybe working. We had Tammy Orr, Meg Matson, and Mary Bolton. So thanks to them, too. Now you know everything you need to know. Go forth. Thank you.